Okay, hello everyone. Looks like we are live in here with you on this beautiful Monday, the first Monday in June. So excited to be here with my friend Kate Simpson. I'm Jodie Solberg. I am a certified master hypnotherapist. I have a practice called Psyched Up Success, where we take the psychology and put it in with the principles of success to help you create harmony, peace, joy, and your definition of success in all areas of your life, breaking through all those subconscious blocks and barriers. And those are what we're talking about today, because Kate is here with me to talk all about those things in our subconscious minds and that we store in our emotions, in our body, and in our energy that can keep us in chronic pain. And I know personally, I have experienced that. So I can definitely relate, as well as having helped so many different people through that. And Kate has as well. So, Kate, introduce yourself and tell us about the exciting things that you do to help us heal and feel better.
Yes, absolutely. So I am Kate Simpson. I am actually an energy healing practitioner. And so I work with a number of modalities. I'm a master practitioner with the Global Energy Method, Emotion Code, and Body Code. And through these methods, what I do is help you find essentially trapped negative vibrations of energy that are stuck in your body. They could be stuck in your body or right outside your body. And the reason it's important to locate these is because all energy is meant to move and flow through our body. And a lot of times we don't realize that our own thoughts, our own emotions, our own beliefs are vibrations of energy. And if those are suppressed in our body or trapped in our body, they actually disrupt the area of the body where they're trapped. So it can disrupt tissues, muscles, organs, brainwave functions, hormones, all kinds of things. And so when we're dealing with something like chronic pain, a lot of times we'll go and do everything we can to get a diagnosis and to, try and fix the symptoms of what's going on. And all of that is very important. I highly encourage getting a good diagnosis and doing what you can to support your body with the medical system. But sometimes, actually more often than not, contributing to that is emotional energies, belief systems, mental energies, vibrations of energy that are contributing to that pain. And if we can identify the root cause of that pain and what energy is contributing to that and release that energy, then the body has this amazing ability to just rebalance, restore, and heal itself. And countless people tell me that they feel lighter, they feel relaxed, the tension leaves their body, the pain in their neck or their shoulder or their back or their knee or their hip that's been there forever is suddenly gone because we got to a root cause, which happens to be more of a mental energy or an emotional energy. So that's kind of an overview of what I do. And we have an amazing event happening this Thursday that is really going to help you not only identify the root cause of chronic pain, but we're going to release that energy on Thursday. And then Jodie is going to step in and actually help us with repatterning and giving us the tools subconsciously to help us actually make sure that that doesn't continue to come back. So you can maybe share a little bit more about that. And actually, before you do, I just want to invite anybody who is maybe watching us live. If you would like to volunteer, I use a process called muscle testing, and I would be happy right here, right now, to just muscle test you to discover if you even have one of these trapped negative energies or a belief system that's actually causing the discomfort or pain that you're feeling on a daily basis. So if you want to volunteer, just comment me in the comments here, and then I'll be able to muscle test you, and we'll do it live right here to see if that's even a factor for you. But Jodie, would you jump in and just tell us a little bit about like how you're going to support this healing on Thursday and the magic of what you do for really long-term results?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Kate. Yeah, what we do complements each other so well because as someone who has been a trauma therapist for so many years, I am very aware of how we trap these emotions and energies and, like you said, those belief systems too, right? Those limiting or negative belief systems in our minds, in our subconscious minds, as well as in our bodies. A lot of when we talk about emotions, right, is actually physiological. It's not just about the words that we use to describe how we're feeling. It's actually how we're feeling in our bodies and what we notice, right? You notice your heart rate, your breathing changes, then we have a name for that. And so when we experience these emotions, we're meant to let them pass, even if they are negative, even, if it's fear, if it's something scary. Think about an animal, and when they almost get caught by a predator, or they, see that the little bunny sees the predator. Where I live, there's a lot of those. So let's say the little bunny sees a nice predator right on the other side of the bushes, and gets first frozen, and then it's like, okay, what am I going to do? And then it runs back into its burrow. It then shakes it off, right? And as people, we're also designed for our nervous systems to go into that fight, flight, freeze type of response, and then to release that. And then what happens is we don't always release it, right? So whether it's something traumatic, or it's grief or loss or stress, constant stress, for example, things that we are dealing with on a daily basis, because there's, not so much of us having to run from the predators anymore, but there are a whole lot of other stressors in our environment because of our modern lives, where uh, we don't always release, right? We don't always feel it and then let it go. And so we hold on specifically to the negatives the most, right? To those negative things. And they end up informing our thoughts and our beliefs, right? We're programmed from a very young age, because we're little sponges and we absorb everything in the way that we see the world. We see ourselves, we interact. And so if at any point there's something that you didn't release, or that you held on to, that was maybe a limiting or a negative belief system, or a negative self-talk came from that, or you had a traumatic experience. I think all of us, we're humans, like we've had things that happen, whether it's something like a car accident, or it's something like being bullied. And there's so many different experiences we can have where we can hold on to things, and then they affect us later in life, right? It could be from last week, last month, last year, or 40 years ago. And so what I do is, once Kate goes in and identifies, like, okay, here is this trapped emotion, energy, whatever it is, then she is helping you to identify and release that. And then I'm helping you go in by teaching you basically some self hypnosis. All hypnosis is self hypnosis. So, teaching you how to relax, how to reprogram and repattern your subconscious to know how to release those things, so that in the future, when any of those life things come up, as they always do, then you're not going to hold on to them the way that you used to hold on to them. So you're going to actually change those habits and those patterns in how you're processing and then releasing those negative thoughts, those negative experiences. And so that's really the beauty of how we work together. And what my part in this is really just teaching you, giving you tools and resources to be able to process in a very healthy way, and not continue to get those things stuck anymore. And so, Kate, I have a question for you too. And that is, people are not familiar with what you do and the science behind it. It can seem like magical or mystical or weird. So sometimes they're like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Just like sometimes they feel that way about hypnosis. And I know with hypnosis, it's all science backed, and it's all just how we naturally process. It's our natural brain waves that we go through every day. It just has a little bit of a different word to it. And
Mhm.
so I would love to hear from your perspective what you do from that more scientific perspective, because that's one thing we have in common is you and I are very like science based
Yeah.
and minded type of people. And so yeah, to kind of overcome a little bit of that, if people are like, I'm curious, but I'm a little scared because I don't really know what she's going to do.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, everything is energy if you really look at it in its purest form. Okay, so there's energy. The most common energy we're familiar with is what we can see and feel and touch and use our senses with. So, like the chair that I'm sitting in, the computer that's connecting us, everything that you can see and feel is essentially in its purest form energy, including your own body. And so it's when you look at, say, your hand, for instance, your hand, the way you look at it right now, you might recognize it. But if you actually looked at your hand under a very, very, detailed, intense microscope, your hand would look very different. Your hand would be a lot of empty space with a few like electrons flying around and protons. And so it's everything in its purest form is energy. And all energy vibrates at different frequencies. And it's not right or wrong or good or bad. It is just a vibration of energy. And there's energy that, like I said, you can feel and see and touch. That's called matter, right? You can interact with it. But there's energy that you don't see. For instance, right now you're hearing the sound of my voice, but you can't see it. But my voice is, again, many vibrations of energy, frequencies that are vibrating at different rates. The air outside is energy, the earth is energy, and including your own thoughts and your own emotions. They are vibrations of energy. And like Jodie described, energy is meant to move. All energy is meant to move and vibrate. And so when you have thoughts and emotions, your body, it's physical. Your body created that emotion. The emotion is then felt kind of like a wave. You then feel it here at the top, and then it passes right through you. And that's a normal, healthy emotional experience that I promise you do successfully every single day. But there are those times when you receive input from your environment. Maybe you witness something, you hear something, you have your own thought about something, or you remember something, and that triggers this chemical reaction in your brain, and your body produces an emotion. And that emotion's felt and then processed. The problem comes in when that emotion is maybe what we perceive as negative and it's too overwhelming, too scary, not going to deal with it. We bottle that up, right? And so instead of allowing that to process to happen, when we start to feel it here at the top, we then say, not feeling it. We're going to suppress it in our body. And now understand, when we suppress that, we think we're getting rid of the emotion. We're not. We're actually holding it in our body, which is why we feel it even more than actually allowing it to pass. But that's where that disruptive energy is. It's like a ball of energy that's vibrating that doesn't belong. And that could be disrupting your lungs, your heart, your liver, your eyeball, your toe. It could be affecting your hips or your knees or your back or whatever is causing you pain, because that's a vibration of energy. It's a frequency that is disrupting tissues and muscles and organs and glands and so on. So that's what we do. Now, how do we release that? It's actually a beautiful, simple process. I use a process called applied kinesiology. In simple terms, it's called muscle testing. And that's what I'm going to do today if you want to volunteer to kind of find out if you have an emotion that's contributing to chronic pain. But muscle testing allows me to just ask the body what's going on. And so your subconscious knows everything about you, and it remembers. It's this massive record keeper, and it keeps track of everything that's happened in your life. And so we can actually connect and ask the body specifically what's maybe contributing to this pain. If there's an emotion, if there's a belief pattern that is contributing to whatever issue is going on with you. And the way that I do that, I act as a proxy for you. And so I just apply pressure to different muscles of my body. And so typically I use my fingers, And so I kind of interlock them. And if I were to pull them apart gently and they stay locked, that's just your body saying that the muscles are strong and that's something good or positive or truthful. And if I pull apart and they weaken, then that just means that something's not good for the body. It's not beneficial or it's not true. And so we can apply this idea of muscle testing to asking the body exactly what it needs to restore and balance and repair and heal itself. And so it's very simple, and you don't have to do much, but just allow me to work with you. And by giving your permission, I can just ask your body, is there an emotion that's trapped that is causing whatever issues going on? And it's a very accurate science-based process to really finding the root cause of issues that are happening in your life. So that's kind of a little how it works.
It's incredible. Yeah, I am before I met you, so I was a little familiar with muscle testing, like when I go to my chiropractor and they're checking, right? Like your arm, to see
Yep.
are there weak spots like in your spine, things like that. And so that's kind of how I put those together. I was like, okay, how amazing that you can do that remotely. And that, like you said, it's really all about checking with the subconscious mind, because that is also what I do is, help people to give them a way to tap into that wisdom and power of their subconscious mind so that they can heal themselves. And so I love what you were doing. And that is why we are teaming up for these inner healing sessions that we're offering. So during these inner healing sessions, they're 1 hour sessions.
Mhm.
And so we start off with Kate testing to see, what those specific emotions, energies, belief systems, whatever they are that you may have. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. So it's nice because she's going to be able to check each person who registers for these sessions with us and then
Mhm.
help get those released. And then I get to guide you through a hypnosis session. So just a guided, think of it as like a guided meditation or guided imagery, just deeper targeted work. That's really the biggest difference because we're getting into a more relaxed state with hypnosis. You can go a little deeper sometimes than just a meditation. So it depends on how much you meditate and how deeply you go. But think about when we're fully wide awake, we're like firing on all of our conscious cylinders, right? Our beta waves are moving quick in our brains. And then when we start to just relax and focus, then we're in our alpha waves. And so that might be just calming down, slowing down just a little bit. And then when we go even a little bit deeper, that's theta. Okay, so even slower, even more relaxed. And then delta is when you're deep asleep. Now, that alpha theta state, there's a lot of times we go in and out of that, right? So we could be super into the movie and we get into the emotions of the character. I don't know about you all, but I cry at the ASPCA commercials, movies, all right? Somebody else cries on TV. Like, yeah, I'm all into it, right? I get really into the stories. Well, that is the same type of brainwaves as when you're in hypnosis, for example, or when you're falling asleep
Mhm.
in at night, you're waking up in the morning. I can hear that the dog needs to go out, right? I'm not all the way deep asleep. I'm starting to come up and I'm like, oh, I have to get up, dog's going, right? I can hear somebody in the kitchen, those types of things. You're in a lower state. Or when you're daydreaming, or let's
Mhm.
say you're on your way home from Costco, you got all the groceries in the car, you're kind of zoning out a little bit. You're thinking about all the things you're going to make for dinner and what your meal plan is for the week. And all of a sudden you're home. You're like, wait,
Right.
what happened? I don't remember all the turns. It was because your subconscious knows how to get home. And so all of those types of things are very similar to the feeling that is hypnosis. It's just we're actually inducing that. So we're just
Mhm.
saying, hey, we're gonna intentionally do it. That's all. You're just gonna intentionally relax. And then that way we're relaxing that critical, hypervigilant, hyperactive part of your conscious mind that is always questioning, it's like, what makes you think you can do that? Right? We're going to take that part of your mind and just quiet it down. and access your subconscious to where we can find out what's going on 90% of the time, because it's only about 10% of your awareness that's conscious, and about 90% happens behind the scenes. I always think of it as behind the curtain. So we can access that and figure out what those root causes are that could be contributing to or causing issues. So some of the things we do in our inner healing sessions, obviously today we're talking about chronic pain. So that's one of the things that we talk about, because there are many of us who, of course, want to get checked out by your doctor, of course. But there are many of us who, we might have chronic headaches. We might have chronic back pain. We might have chronic GI issues, allergies, who knows, right? Where we have gone to the doctor and we've done all the things and we're still experiencing some issues, right? Again, I've had that personal experience. Like, I have a great care team, and our subconscious minds have a lot to do, because it starts in the mind and the body follows. And so has a lot to do with whether or not we're releasing the pain, whether we are exacerbating symptoms of health conditions that we have through these trapped energies and emotions. And so we have more control than we think we do, right? We can take control. You can empower yourself to learn how to relax and learn how to release and learn how to let go of some of that pain to improve your symptoms, alleviate a lot of issues. And if you do have a chronic health condition that's diagnosed, help us so we're not exacerbating those types of symptoms, right? So that's what we're talking about with chronic pain. Now, we also offer other inner healing sessions as well. And we have things like stress and anxiety that we deal with all the time. You may relate to having anxiety or not, but I know that we all can relate to having stress. And so that's just a part of life, right? So those operate in similar ways. And so we have inner healing sessions around that. We also have self-doubt. So things like imposter syndrome, really comes up a lot when you're an entrepreneur like we are. And so, if you're having some feelings of like, I don't know if I'm good enough, if I can do this, if I know as much as I think I do, or other people think I do, we absolutely help you with that as well. And then sleep issues is another issue that we tackle with these inner healing sessions to help you to break free from them, because sleep affects absolutely everything. So very, very important that you can get good sleep. And so whatever it is that may be causing or contributing to those sleep issues, we can help you heal from that as well. So I'm going to pop the link onto this screen for those inner healing sessions. We do have our chronic pain session, our next one coming up on Thursday. So Kate, what else would you like to add about the sessions or what they can expect? Because I'm really looking forward to this next one coming up soon.
Absolutely. So you can absolutely expect to feel a physical shift. These are wonderful, wonderful sessions. So I always encourage people to come to the session with a little bit of water to make sure you're drinking and hydrated. But as we go through the session, honestly, you're just going to relax and listen. And as I'll go first, and then Jodie will come in second to do the meditation aspect of things, the self-hypnosis. So I'll start by releasing anything that's causing, contributing, creating the discomfort that you're dealing with. And most people experience energy release differently. Some people feel it physically leave. Other people start yawning or laughing. You might notice that you feel hot or cold in the moment, and that passes, or you might need to move and stretch. But it's a very gentle, non-invasive process. You'll basically just relax and listen as we release energy. And then Jodie will come in and do the guided self-hypnosis, which I'm telling you is so powerful. I worked on a very specific issue that I had not worked on energetically for our last session that we did on chronic pain. And I have to tell you, I did the release work. I was part of that group. And the self-hypnosis aspect of things has just my subconscious remembers that session very much, because anytime I start to feel, I worked on my jaw gets tense and tight, and I tend to clench my teeth. And anytime that starts to happen, it's like I have this memory from the self-hypnosis session we did, and instantly my jaw loosens up. And so it's incredible because your body starts to remember how to release and heal on its own. So all you have to do is relax and be part of the process, be open to the process. You do not even have to be live, although if you can be, we absolutely love having you live with us. But if you are pre-registered, then the energy healing aspect of things, you will be included with that. I'll have your name, your information, and I'll be able to include you in the healing aspect of things. And then you just, relax, enjoy. You'll have the replay if you need it to return to. And yeah, it's going to be a really amazing session. And I hope you'll join us.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, good point. On the replay, they're going to have not only they're going to be on the list, so they're going to be able to benefit from what you do, but then they're going to have the recording of my session, so then they can absolutely go back and listen to that. And I'm so glad that that was so helpful for you. Yeah, we participate in each other's
Yes.
sessions, so we definitely understand what you're going to be going through and processing. And like you said, Kate, a lot of times it's because we stuff things down and we don't process them. And what you were describing as far as people's different physical responses that they could have, and then your response with the work that you were doing on your jaw, I'm certified also in somatic release techniques. So different somatic therapy aspects. And so it's all about how we are storing those things, like I was talking about earlier, in our bodies, and we store them in our nervous systems. And we have these really important nerves around our facial muscles, right? So we have nerves that run through around our ears and in our jaws. And so that's very, very common for people to, like you said, like yawn, to do a little bit of a nervous system release, or to hold a lot of stress in their jaw or in their necks, and for them to feel like, oh, I need to open and release some of that. And so yeah, everybody's different. Sometimes when we do these sessions together, like I always feel good, but sometimes it's like, okay, well, that was nice, but it's not profound. And I remember the last time we did one, I was like, I need a nap. And then I literally took like a little short nap, woke up and felt amazing afterwards. So, again, it's different for everyone. And it's always interesting every single time what we find out that we're holding on to that we didn't even realize. And so we're very excited to help you to be able to activate your own inner healing abilities and to really empower you, again, equip you, give you these tools to be able to realize that there's something you can do. A lot of times when we are in chronic pain, and we're feeling stuck in that. We're feeling like we don't have a lot of control, or there's not a lot that we can do. And so that was one of the reasons why we wanted to do this work together, is to help people to realize that there are things that you can do. And we're here to help guide you and show you what some of those alternative options are. And so here on the screen, you'll see that we have our link to the inner healing sessions. That's a quick link that you can go to see our entire calendar of those sessions. But our next one is this coming Thursday, the 6th. So definitely check that out. And then you'll see all those other sessions on there as well. If there are some sleep issues, some self-doubt, or some stress or anxiety issues that you would like to release. So Kate, thank you so much for joining me today. This was really great. And again, if you are wanting to register and get tested for whatever energy and emotions, whatever it is that may be stuck and being blocked, then definitely register for those. If you have any questions, you can DM us as well, or put those in the comments and we'll make sure to reach out to you.
Yes, wonderful.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves first, and we will see you soon. Bye.